My child, stop. Just for a moment. Stop searching. Stop striving. Stop looking for me in the noise, in the chaos, in the frantic pace of a world that has taught you to run even when no one is chasing. I need you to be still, not because stillness is polite or religious or expected, but because in the stillness you will finally feel what you have been desperate to feel your entire life. You will finally feel me, here, closer than the air filling your lungs right now. You have been carrying something heavy, so heavy that your shoulders have learned to curve inward, as if bracing for another blow. You have become an expert at smiling through pain, at answering, "I'm fine," when the truth is that some days, just existing has felt like drowning. And you have wondered in your darkest, most honest moments, where am I? If God is real, if God is good, if God sees, and why has He been so silent? Why have your prayers felt like letters written to an address that no longer exists? I need you to hear this with every fiber of your being. I never left. I never left that hospital room when you sat alone, staring at a clock that seemed to mock you with every tick. I never left that car when you parked in the dark and cried until you couldn't breathe, begging for a sign, for a word, for anything. I never left that bed where you lay awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, convinced that morning would never come again. I was there. Not as a distant observer, not as a detached force watching your suffering like a television drama. I was there in the ache. I was there in the silence. I was there in the very breath you thought was running out. You have misunderstood my silence, my child. You have interpreted it as absence. You have interpreted it as indifference. You have even, in your most wounded moments, interpreted it as punishment. But what if I told you that my silence was not rejection, it was protection? What if I told you that every moment you felt alone, I was building something inside you that could only be constructed in the dark? Think back. Think back to the moments you thought would destroy you. You are still here. You are breathing. You are reading these words, and something deep inside you, something you thought had died, is stirring. That is not coincidence. That is not random chance. That is me, reaching through the veil you thought separated us, pulling you gently but firmly into the truth. I have been with you all along. You have been asking me to change your circumstances. You have been begging me to remove the obstacles, to silence the accusers, to open the doors that seem welded shut. And I have heard every single plea. But I am not a God who simply gives you what you ask for. I am a God who gives you what you would have asked for if you knew everything I know. And there are things happening in the spiritual realm right now, in this very moment, that you cannot see with your natural eyes. Battles being fought on your behalf. Strategies being dismantled. Traps that were set for you last year, last month, last week. They have already been triggered, and they have already failed, and you never even knew they existed. Not watching from a distance. Not observing from a throne so far removed that your pain is just a statistic. I am so close to you that I feel your heartbeat as if it were my own. I am so close to you that every tear you have cried in secret has been collected, not in a bottle somewhere in the heavens as a distant keepsake, but in the very depths of my heart, where your pain has become my pain. You have not suffered alone. You have never suffered alone. And the suffering you thought was meaningless, the suffering you thought was proof that I had abandoned you, that suffering has been working something into your character that could not be planted any other way. You have felt misunderstood. I know. You have felt like a puzzle no one wants to solve, like a book no one bothers to read past the first chapter. You have walked into rooms full of people and felt more alone than when you were by yourself. You have tried to explain what is happening inside you, only to watch eyes glaze over, only to hear platitudes that felt like salt in wounds that were already raw. And in those moments, you whispered to yourself, or maybe you shouted, "Does anyone see me? Does anyone truly see me? My child, I see you. I see the parts you hide. I see the shame you carry about the choices you made when you thought I wasn't watching. I see the regret that plays on a loop in your mind, the moments you wish you could take back, the words you wish you could unsay. I see the way you have punished yourself far more harshly than anyone else ever could. And I am not here to add to that punishment. I am here to tell you that the chapter you are in right now, the one that feels like a never-ending winter, the one that has tested every ounce of faith you thought you had, this chapter has a purpose, and the purpose is not to break you. The purpose is to position you. You have felt forgotten. But you were never forgotten. You were being hidden. Hidden from things that would have distracted you. Hidden from people who would have used you. Hidden from opportunities that looked right, but would have led you wrong. I have been your shelter, even when you couldn't feel the walls around you. I have been your protection, even when you felt exposed to every storm. Take a deep breath. Right now, as you read these words, breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, let go of the lie that you are alone. Let go of the lie that your pain has been pointless. Let go of the lie that I have been distant, indifferent, or absent. I am closer than your next thought. I am closer than your next heartbeat. I am the very ground beneath your feet, the very air in your lungs, the very blood moving through your veins. And I am not finished with you. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not someone who slipped through the cracks of the universe. You were chosen. Before the foundations of the world, before the stars were hung in the sky, before the oceans knew their boundaries, I knew you. I knew this moment. I knew that right now, at this exact second, you would be reading these words, and you would be on the edge of giving up, or maybe you already have given up. And I am here to pull you back from that edge. Do you feel that? That warmth spreading through your chest? That sudden tightness in your throat? That is not emotion. That is not suggestion. That is me touching the deepest part of you, awakening what you thought was dead, reminding you that you are still alive, and that as long as you are alive, there is purpose, there is hope, there is a future you cannot yet see, but I can see it, and it is beautiful. Not because you are strong enough, though you are stronger than you know, but because I am with you, because I have never left you, because every moment you thought was the end was actually the beginning of something new, because the very pain that has tried to destroy you is about to become the platform from which you speak, the testimony that sets others free, the evidence that there is a God who sees, who knows, who cares, and who is closer than anyone has ever told you. Rest now, my beloved. Rest in this truth. You are seen, you are known, you are loved, and I am here. I have always been here, and I am never leaving. I need you to remember something. Something you have tried to bury. Something you have replayed in the middle of the night when sleep abandoned you, and the darkness pressed in like a living thing. I need you to remember the faces, the voices, the moments when you realized that someone you trusted, someone you loved, someone you would have defended with your last breath, was not who you thought they were. You have been betrayed. I know this not as information, not as a fact I observed from a distance, but as a wound I carried with you. Every word spoken against you in secret, I heard. Every plan made behind your back, I saw. Every moment they smiled at your face while sharpening knives to place between your shoulders, I was there, and I did not intervene the way you wanted me to. I did not strike them down. I did not expose them in the moment. I did not vindicate you when you needed it most. You have wondered about this. You have lain awake asking me why. Why did you let them get away with it? Why did you let them prosper while I crumbled? Why did you watch me fall apart over people who never deserved my tears? These questions have not offended me. They have not driven me away. They have drawn me closer to you because I have seen your heart through it all. And your heart, even broken, even bleeding, even questioning, has remained more beautiful than you will ever understand. You are the one who stayed quiet. You are the one who chose not to fight back. Not because you were weak, but because something deep inside you knew that vengeance was never yours to carry. You could have exposed them. You could have told your side of the story. You could have burned bridges so thoroughly that nothing would ever grow there again. But you didn't. You swallowed your words. You absorbed the pain. You walked away in silence while they celebrated what they thought was victory. And they did celebrate, didn't they? They celebrated your silence as surrender. They celebrated your absence as defeat. They told themselves they won. They told each other that you were never that important anyway. They rewrote history to make themselves the heroes, and you the obstacle that finally, thankfully, was removed. And you heard about some of it, and you probably imagined the rest. And every piece of it cut you deeper than you let anyone know. But here is what they did not know. Here is what they could not see. While they were celebrating, while they were congratulating themselves on their cleverness, while they were sleeping peacefully in beds they made by tearing yours apart, I was with you. In your sleepless nights, I was with you. In your tears, I was with you. In the moments you thought you might die from the grief of being discarded by people you never stopped loving, I was holding you. And I was doing something they could never understand. I was healing you, not with lightning bolts and dramatic rescues, but slowly, quietly, deeply. I was removing the poison of their betrayal from your spirit so that you would not become like them. You could have become bitter. Many do. Many take the betrayal they received and let it harden into a shell that nothing and no one can penetrate. They swear never to trust again. They build walls so high that even love cannot climb them. And on the surface, this looks like strength. It looks like self-protection. It looks like wisdom. But underneath, it is a slow death. It is letting the betrayers win forever. It is allowing their sin to define the rest of your life. But you did not do that. Oh, you wanted to. There were days you wanted to lock your heart away and throw away the key. There were moments you promised yourself you would never be vulnerable again. But something kept pulling you back. Something kept your heart soft when everything in you screamed to let it harden. That something was me. I never stopped working on you, even when you couldn't feel me working. I never stopped protecting the tenderness inside you, even when tenderness felt like weakness. And now, looking back, can you see? Can you see how close I was, keeping your heart alive when the world tried to kill it? They underestimated you, every single one of them. They looked at your kindness and called it naivety. They looked at your silence and called it weakness. They looked at your tears and called it manipulation. They looked at your loyalty and called it codependency. They rewrote your motives in their minds to match the story they needed to tell themselves, the story where they were justified, where you deserved what happened, where your pain was exaggerated and your love was fake. But I never rewrote you. I never misunderstood you. I saw every motive. I saw every intention. I saw the purity in places you yourself doubt. I saw the love you gave, even when it wasn't returned. I saw the forgiveness you extended, even when it wasn't requested. I saw the hope you carried, even when hope seemed foolish. And I was not distant from any of it. I was not observing from above like a detached spectator. I was inside every feeling. I was present for every moment. I was closer to you in your deepest betrayals than you have ever been to yourself. There were nights you cried out to me about them, about the things they did, about the things they said, about the unfairness of it all. And in those nights, I heard you. But I also saw something you could not see. I saw that your pain was not just about them, it was about you. It was about the part of you that wondered if you were worthy of loyalty. It was about the part of you that believed deep down that maybe they were right to leave. Maybe you were too much. Maybe you deserved to be alone. That lie, that ancient poisonous lie, was the real enemy. And I was fighting it while you slept. I was dismantling it while you wept. I was replacing it with truth while you wondered if I was even listening. You have been protected, my child. Not from pain. That was never the promise. But from the things that would have destroyed you. Those people who left, I let them leave. Not because I was punishing you, but because I was protecting you. They could not go where you are going. They could not carry what you are about to carry. They would have become liabilities instead of allies. They would have slowed you down, pulled you back, held you to versions of yourself you are meant to outgrow. Their departure was not a loss. It was a filtration system, and I was the one filtering. You have felt rejected, but what felt like rejection was actually redirection. What felt like abandonment was actually advancement. What felt like the end of everything was actually the beginning of everything that matters. I have been positioning you, realigning you, removing every weight and every sin and every person that would cling to you and keep you from the destiny I placed in you before you were born. And now, as you read these words, something is shifting. Can you feel it? The heaviness is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The questions that once haunted you are beginning to fade, replaced by a quiet knowing that you have not been forgotten. You have not been passed over. You have not been discarded. You have been prepared. They thought they ended you. They thought your silence meant surrender. They thought your absence meant defeat. But I have been writing a story they cannot comprehend. And soon, sooner than you think, the narrative is going to flip. What they meant for evil, I am turning for good. What they did in secret, I am exposing in the light. What they thought was buried forever, I am resurrecting. But not for revenge. Never for revenge. That is not who you are anymore. That is not who I have made you. When your vindication comes, and it is coming, it will not destroy them. It will save them. It will open their eyes. It will give them one more chance to become who they were always meant to be. And you will watch this happen, and you will feel not triumph, but compassion. Not pride, but peace. Because I have healed you so completely that their fate no longer determines your joy. You are free. Can you feel it? You are freer than you have ever been. The chains of their betrayal have been loosened. The prison of their rejection has been opened, and you are walking out, not bitter, not broken, but whole. More whole than you were before they touched your life. More whole than you were before they tried to tear you apart. That is my work. That is my love. That is how close I have been, healing you from the inside out while you thought I was silent. Rest now in this freedom. Let it settle into your bones. You are going to need it for what comes next. My child, let me take you back, not to wound you, but to heal you. Not to reopen what is closed, but to show you why certain doors had to remain shut. You have spent so much time mourning the things that did not happen, the opportunities that slipped away, the people who walked out, the doors that locked before you could enter. And I have watched you stand at those closed doors, pressing your hands against the wood, wondering why I would not let you through. Today, I need you to see those doors differently. Every closed door was a wall I built around you. Every delay was a detour around a cliff you could not see. Every loss was a rescue disguised as rejection. You have begged me to open paths that would have led you to destruction, and you have cursed my name in frustration when those paths remained shut. But I was not punishing you. I was protecting you. I was not ignoring your prayers. I was answering them in a language you could not yet understand. Think of the timing you have questioned, the years that felt wasted, the seasons that stretched on until you thought you would break. You have measured those seasons by what you did not have, by what did not happen, by where you thought you should be, but were not. But I have been measuring them by something else entirely. I have been measuring the strength growing in your spirit, the roots driving deeper into the soil of faith, the character being formed in the dark like diamonds formed under pressure. You have felt behind. You have watched others move forward while you remain stuck. You have seen their milestones, the marriages, the promotions, the breakthroughs, and you have wondered why your life looked like a paused movie while everyone else's played on. But what you could not see was the foundation I was laying beneath you. What you could not know was that the pause was preparation. The waiting was working. The stillness was strengthening. There were people I removed from your life who you thought were essential. You fought to keep them. You prayed for them to stay. You begged me to change their hearts, to fix the relationships, to restore what was breaking. And when they left anyway, when the friendships dissolved, when the partnerships ended, when the connections severed, you questioned whether I had heard you at all. But I heard you, and I answered you, not because I didn't care about your loneliness, not because I was indifferent to your tears, but because I could see what they would become. I could see the way their presence would eventually poison the very thing I am building in you. I could see the compromises you would make to keep them. I could see the version of yourself you would shrink into just to fit into their expectations. And I loved you too much to let that happen. So I let them go, and I caught you when you fell from the grief of losing them. And I held you while you mourned. And I never, not for 1 second, regretted my decision. Because I am not just interested in your comfort, I am interested in your destiny. I am not just concerned with your happiness in this moment. I am concerned with the fullness of who you are becoming. You have been isolated, and isolation has felt like punishment. But isolation has been incubation. It has been the quiet space where your voice could develop without the noise of the crowd. It has been the hidden room where your vision could clarify without the distraction of other people's opinions. It has been the wilderness where your dependence on me could deepen, because there was nothing else left to depend on. In that isolation, I have spoken things to you that you could not have heard in the busyness. I have shown you things about yourself that would have been drowned out by the voices of others. I have planted seeds in your spirit that are about to break through the surface in ways that will leave you breathless. Do you remember the nights when it was just you and me? When the silence was so thick you could feel it, and you didn't know whether to call it loneliness or presence. Those nights were not empty. They were full of me, full of work being done in dimensions you cannot perceive, full of alignment, adjustment, preparation for what is coming. You have wondered why your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down. But I have been answering them in the very breath you thought was wasted. I have been moving in the very stillness you thought was abandonment. I have been closer in the silence than you have ever experienced in the noise. There is a strength in you now that did not exist before the waiting. There is a wisdom in you now that could only be learned in the wilderness. There is a depth in you now that shallow waters never produce. And when you step into what is next, and you will step into it, you will carry something that those who never waited cannot carry. You will bring a presence, a peace, a power that was forged in the very fire you thought would consume you. The closed doors were not mistakes. The delays were not oversights. The losses were not accidents. They were surgical removals of everything that would have hindered you. They were divine redirections away from paths that looked right but led to death. They were the boundaries of protection around a life I have been preserving for something you cannot yet fully see. And now the waiting is ending. Can you feel it? The shift in the atmosphere around you? The stirring in your spirit that feels like morning coming after the longest night. The doors that have been locked for years are beginning to tremble on their hinges. Not because you have finally figured out the right combination, not because you have prayed enough or been good enough or waited long enough, but because I am the one opening them, and what I open, no one can shut. You are not behind. You are never behind. You were right where you needed to be, learning what you needed to learn, becoming who you needed to become. And now, fully prepared, fully equipped, fully formed in ways you don't even recognize yet, you are about to step forward. But first, look back one last time. Look at the closed doors and thank me. Thank me for the no's that protected you. Thank me for the delays that developed you. Thank me for the losses that positioned you. Thank me for the isolation that incubated you. And then turn around and face what is coming. Because what is coming is not just a door opening. It is a floodgate releasing. It is a season of such acceleration that the years the locusts ate will be restored in months. It is a manifestation of everything you have been carrying in secret, everything you have been believing for in the dark, everything I have been building in you while no one was watching. The waiting season is over. The prepared season is here, and you are ready, more ready than you know. Something is breaking open. Right now, in this very moment, as you read these words, there is a shifting in the atmosphere around you that you cannot see, but you can feel. It is the sound of chains loosening. It is the vibration of doors unlocking. It is the tremor of foundations shaking, not the foundations of your faith, but the foundations of every prison that has held you captive. The shift has begun. You have felt it, haven't you? In the last few days, the last few weeks, something has been different. A restlessness that is not anxiety, an anticipation that is not wishful thinking, a knowing that has no logical explanation, but will not leave you alone. That is me. That is my spirit stirring within you, waking up what has been dormant, preparing you for what is about to break forth. For so long, you have lived in the waiting. You have become accustomed to the silence. You have made peace with the delays. You have learned to exist in the space between promise and fulfillment, and you have done it with a grace that has not gone unnoticed. But the waiting was never meant to be permanent. The silence was never meant to be the final word. The delays were never meant to be the end of your story. They were the preparation for your suddenlies. And your suddenly is here. I am about to move in ways that will leave you speechless. Not because you haven't believed, but because what I am about to do exceeds even your most faithful prayers. You have asked for doors to open. I am about to swing gates wide that you never even knocked on. You have asked for provision. I am about to release abundance from directions you never thought to look. You have asked for vindication. I am about to rewrite narratives so completely that those who wrote you off will have to rewrite their own stories to include what I have done in your life. This is not gradual. This is not incremental. This is the sudden shift that comes after long obedience in the same direction. This is the breakthrough that breaks through everything that has held you back. This is the moment when the spiritual momentum that has been building in secret becomes visible, undeniable, and unstoppable. Watch. Just watch. Watch what I do with the doors that have been locked for years. Watch what I do with the hearts that have been hard toward you. Watch what I do with the circumstances that have seemed immovable. Watch what I do with the narratives that have defined you. I am not just opening, I am exploding. I am not just healing, I am resurrecting. I am not just restoring, I am multiplying. There are people who have underestimated you who are about to see you in a light they cannot explain. They will watch your rise and wonder where you came from. They will see your wisdom and question when you became so wise. They will witness your favor and try to understand its source. And you will know, and I will know, and that will be enough. The promotion you have waited for, it is closer than your next breath. Not just a job, not just a title, but a positioning. I am positioning you where your voice will carry, where your gifts will flourish, where your presence will shift atmospheres. I am placing you on platforms you did not build for purposes you are only beginning to understand. And the preparation of the waiting season will suddenly make sense as you operate in places that would have crushed the version of you that existed before the wilderness. The relationships you have prayed for, they are already on their way. Not the shallow connections that leave you empty, but the deep soul ties that reflect the very heart of heaven. People who will see you and know you and still choose you. People who will walk with you and not against you. People who will celebrate your rise because they have no insecurity in their own identity. I am bringing these people into your life, and you will recognize them by the peace they carry, not just the words they speak. The voice you have struggled to find, it is about to be released, not as a shout of frustration, but as a sound of authority. You will speak, and things will shift. You will pray, and atmospheres will change. You will declare, and chains will break. The silence that has been imposed upon you is breaking, and what emerges from your mouth will carry weight you have never carried before. Look at your hands. The hands that have been folded in waiting are about to be extended in harvest. The hands that have wiped tears from your own eyes are about to be laid on others in healing. The hands that have held nothing are about to hold abundance, not for hoarding, but for giving. Not for security, but for sowing. I am making you a conduit of blessing, and the blessing will flow through you to places you cannot yet imagine. Your enemies, those who have spoken against you, plotted against you, wished for your downfall, they are about to witness something that will either break them or make them. They will see what I have done in your life, and they will know that it was me. Not your cleverness, not your connections, not your strategies, just me. And in that moment, they will have a choice, to repent or to harden. Either way, you are free. Either way, your vindication is complete. Either way, the narrative that said you would never rise has been permanently, eternally defeated. But here is what matters most, my child. In the midst of the shift, in the whirlwind of the breakthrough, in the chaos of the suddenly, do not lose me. Do not become so focused on the blessings that you forget the blesser. Do not become so enamored with the open doors that you forget the one who opened them. Do not become so consumed with your new platform that you forget the quiet place where we met in the waiting. The shift is happening for you, but it is also happening through you. You are not just receiving, you are becoming. You are not just being promoted, you are being transformed. The very things that were used to break you are being repurposed to define you. The very places that saw your tears are about to see your triumph. The very people who wrote your eulogy are about to witness your resurrection. Rise, my child. Rise from the ash heap. Rise from the valley. Rise from the waiting room. Rise from the wilderness. Rise with the authority of one who has been through the fire and come out not smelling of smoke. Rise with the confidence of one who has been hidden and is now revealed. Rise with the power of one who carries my presence in every fiber of their being. The shift is here. The suddenly is now. And you are walking into it, not in your own strength, but in mine. Not by your own wisdom, but by my guidance. Not for your own glory, but for purposes far beyond what you can see. Breathe in this moment. Let it settle into your spirit. You are crossing a threshold, and nothing will ever be the same. Come up higher. Come up from the valley where you have dwelt for so long. Come up from the low places, the cramped spaces, the narrow rooms where your spirit has been compressed. Come up and see what I am doing, not just around you, but in you, not just for you, but through you. The restoration I am bringing is not surface deep. It is not a temporary fix or a cosmetic repair. It is a complete reweaving of the fabric of your existence. You have been torn in so many places, ripped by rejection, shredded by betrayal, worn thin by waiting. But I am the weaver, and I am taking every thread, even the ones you thought were ruined beyond repair, and I am creating something so beautiful that you will forget it was ever damaged. This is not just healing, this is restoration. And restoration means you get back more than you lost. It means the enemy's attempt to destroy you becomes the very foundation of your authority. It means the places of deepest wounding become the sources of greatest power. Look at what I am restoring. First, I am restoring your peace, the peace that was stolen by sleepless nights and anxious days, the peace that was shattered by unexpected blows and chronic stress, the peace that you forgot could even exist. It is returning to you now, not as a fragile hope, but as a settled reality. You will sleep again, deep, uninterrupted sleep, where your spirit rests in complete trust. You will wake again, not with dread, but with anticipation. The war within you is ending, and peace, my peace, is taking its rightful place as the ruler of your heart. I am restoring your identity. You have spent so long being defined by what happened to you, by who left you, by what you lost. You have worn those labels like skin, abandoned, overlooked, rejected, forgotten. But those labels are falling off now. They are losing their adhesive. They are crumbling in the light of who I say you are. And who am I saying you are? Chosen, beloved, wanted, called, equipped, anointed. You are not the sum of your wounds. You are the sum of my words over you. And my words are creating a new reality that no one can take from you. I am restoring your voice. For too long, you have whispered when you should have spoken. You have stayed silent when you should have declared. You have hidden your opinions, your dreams, your truths, because you were taught that they didn't matter. But I am loosening your tongue. I am giving you words that carry weight. I am placing you in rooms where your voice will be not just heard, but sought after. What you have learned in the secret place, you will now speak from the rooftops, and those who once ignored you will lean in to listen. I am restoring your relationships. Not all of them. Some were never meant to be restored. But the deep ones, the true ones, the ones that were torn apart by misunderstanding or timing or forces beyond your control, I am weaving them back together. And I am bringing new ones that will feel like homecoming. You will look into the eyes of those I send and recognize something familiar, something that tells you they were always meant to find you, and you were always meant to find them. The loneliness that has haunted you is lifting, and in its place is a community so genuine it will feel like a glimpse of heaven. I am restoring your joy. Not the shallow happiness that depends on circumstances, but the deep joy that flows from knowing you are loved unconditionally. The joy that laughed in the face of your enemies and said, "My God has not forgotten me." The joy that sang in the prison of your waiting and declared that morning was coming. That joy is returning to you now, bubbling up from places you thought had run dry. It will spill out of you in laughter that surprises even you. It will overflow onto everyone around you. It will become your strength in ways you have never experienced. I am restoring your purpose. The dreams you buried because they seemed impossible, I am resurrecting them. The callings you set aside because the door stayed closed, I am reopening those doors. The assignments you thought you missed, I am giving you new ones that build on everything you learned in the waiting. You are not too old, not too late, not too far behind. You are right on time, and the purpose I placed in you before you were born is about to unfold in ways that will leave you breathless. And here is the miracle within the miracle. Your restoration will restore others. The very places you have been healed will become places where you offer healing. The very freedom you have found will become the key that unlocks others' chains. The very abundance you are receiving will flow through your hands to those who have nothing. You will become a source, a well that does not run dry, a tree whose leaves bring healing. Do you see it? Do you see what I am doing? I am not just fixing your life. I am multiplying it. I am not just answering your prayers. I am exceeding them. I am not just giving you a future. I am giving you a future that carries forward into eternity. The shame that has followed you like a shadow, it is dissolving. The regret that has whispered in your ear, it is silenced. The fear that has gripped your heart, it is broken. You are walking into a season where the past loses its power completely, where the memories that once wounded you become testimonies that strengthen you, where the things you hide become the very things that make you relatable and real, and able to reach the unreachable. Look around you. A landscape is changing. The barren places are blooming. The dry ground is becoming a spring. The wilderness is becoming a garden. And you are not just a spectator to this transformation. You are the transformed. You are the barren place that is blooming. You are the dry ground becoming a spring. You are the wilderness becoming a garden. Restoration is not just something I do. It is something I am. And because you are in me, you are being restored to the original design, the original purpose, the original beauty I always intended. Not a repaired version of the old, but a completely new creation emerging from the ashes of the old. Take a deep breath. Let this restoration sink into your spirit. Let it saturate every cell of your being. You are not who you were. You are becoming who you have always been in my eyes. And it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. We have come far together in these moments, from the silence of your suffering to the threshold of your suddenly, from the valley of betrayal to the mountain of restoration, from the closed doors of protection to the open doors of destiny. And now, here we stand, at the culmination of everything I have been speaking, not just through these words, but through every season of your life. This is the moment of final confirmation. Not confirmation that you have arrived. You haven't. Not fully. There is still more ahead, more to become, more to receive, more to walk into. But confirmation that you are on the right path. Confirmation that the waiting was not wasted. Confirmation that the tears were seen, the prayers were heard, the pain was purposeful. Confirmation that I am who I said I am, and you are who I said you are, and together, you and I, we are unstoppable. Look back with me for just a moment. Not to linger, but to measure. See the distance you have traveled. See the person you were when this journey began. That version of you, the one who doubted, who feared, who almost gave up, that version is fading. Not because you pretended them away, but because I grew you beyond them. The seed had to die to become the tree. The caterpillar had to disappear to become the butterfly. And you, my beloved, have been disappearing into me so that I could become fully visible in you. You are not the same, and the world is about to see it. There is a confidence rising in you that has nothing to do with your own abilities. It is the confidence of one who has been through the fire and knows the one who walked through it with them. It is the confidence of one who has been emptied and knows the one who fills. It is the confidence of one who has been broken and knows the one who mends. This confidence will not make you arrogant. It will make you unshakable. It will not make you proud. It will make you peaceful. It will not make you distant. It will make you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness and desperately needed in the kingdom of light. You have asked me in your quietest moments if you were made for more. If the restlessness inside you meant something, if the hunger for significance was just ego, or if it was planted by me. I tell you now, that hunger is from me, that restlessness is from me, that longing to matter, to count, to leave the world different than you found it. I placed that in your heart before the foundations of the earth. And I am about to satisfy it in ways you cannot orchestrate or manipulate. But here is the mystery. The satisfaction will not come from achieving. It will come from abiding. The significance will not come from doing. It will come from being. The impact will not come from striving. It will come from resting in who I have made you to be. You have spent so long trying to become. Now finally, you can simply be. Be loved, be chosen, be free, be you. And from that place of being, everything you do will carry weight you never carried before. The destiny I have for you is not a destination. It is a direction. It is not a single moment of arrival. It is an ongoing journey of discovery. Every day you will uncover more of who you are in me. Every season you will step into deeper dimensions of the calling I have placed on your life. There is no ceiling to what I have for you, no limit to how high you can go, no boundary to how deeply you can know me, or how widely you can impact others. But you must trust me, not just in the big things, in the small things, not just in the moments of crisis, in the mundane moments, not just when you can see the path, but when the path disappears and all you have is my hand in yours. Trust is not agreement. Trust is abandonment. It is letting go of your own understanding and leaning into a love that has never failed you, even when it felt like it had. I have never failed you. Think about that. Let it settle. In all your years, in all your pain, in all your confusion, in all your questions, I have never failed you. I have never left you. I have never lied to you. I have never broken a promise. I have never been early, but I have never been late. I have never wasted a tear. I have never ignored a prayer. I have never overlooked your pain. I have been working, moving, positioning, preparing every single moment of every single day. And I will not stop now, not when you are this close, not when the breakthrough is breathing on your neck, not when the promises are shimmering on the horizon. I will finish what I started. I will complete what I began. I will bring to fullness every good work I have planted in your heart, not because you deserve it, but because I am faithful, not because you earned it, but because I love you. So here is your call, my child. Here is your commission. Here is your final instruction. Go forward, not in your own strength, but in mine, not with your own wisdom, but with my guidance. Not for your own glory, but for purposes that will echo into eternity. Go forward and forgive those who never asked for it. Go forward and bless those who cursed you. Go forward and build where others tore down. Go forward and speak where others stayed silent. Go forward and love where others hated. Go forward and shine where others hid. You are a lighthouse in a stormy world. You are a refuge for the weary. You are a voice for the voiceless. You are a hand reaching into darkness to pull others into light. This is your destiny. This is your identity. This is who you have always been, even when you didn't know it. And now you know, and knowing changes everything. I am with you, not as a concept, not as a belief, not as a distant hope. I am with you as surely as the blood moves through your veins. I am with you as certainly as the air fills your lungs. I am with you as constantly as your own heartbeat. And because I am with you, nothing can stand against you. The doors are open. The season has shifted. The waiting is over. The restoration is complete. The destiny is unfolding. And you, my beloved child, are walking into it, not alone, but with me, closer than your breath, closer than your thoughts, closer than your own skin. I am here. I have always been here, and I will never leave. Now go. The world is waiting for you.